Dear brother, jump in, man. Take a ride with me. Let's talk. It's two laws of manhood, I believe. Just two. It's not really a lot of rules. It's just two. I think those two rules of manhood, to be excellent in your manhood, are discipline and self-awareness. Now, I said them in reverse, but I think that actually self-awareness is first and then discipline. If you're going to win as a man, you got to master these two things. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, man. Let's get into this, man. It's really two things, man. It's not a ton of laws. It's not a book of laws. It's not what a whole bunch of people say or have been saying. People have wrote books and all kinds of stuff. I wrote books. I'm not saying anything is wrong with books and series and all these things. But at the end of the day, at the end of all these lessons we learn and all the lessons we absorb, if you don't get self-awareness, develop self-awareness and discipline, you're done. You're less than a man. Oh man, I know somebody, man, what? Yeah, bro. I'm talking about me too. Trust me, I can't be a brother and come on here and challenge y'all with stuff that I don't challenge myself with. There's some spaces in my life I've realized, man, you're not disciplined in that area. You're being less than a man. And I'm talking about things for myself. You know what I mean? It's not about just family. You know, as a man, you'll jump in there and take care of your kids and your lady and the bills and things you got to do, keep your job together and all that. You'll do all that. But then there's another side of even for yourself. Even for yourself, the things that matter to you as a man. You know what I mean? Are you disciplined in that? You know, things you desire as a man, weight loss, to move up in your job, to finish your degree, to start that business, to whatever it is, to be a better father, a better husband. You know, whatever you're trying to pursue, it's going to take discipline to do it. Now, Christian, what's discipline? Discipline means that I can't have everything. Oh, man. My dad used to say that to me. Man, he said the problem with young men, he used to say it with young men, I think it's a problem with all of us, is that you can't have everything. You can't. He said, you know, you want what you want what they want, you want what they got. It's the conquer thing in us that makes us want everything. And you can't have everything and be a disciplined man. Because when you start chasing a whole bunch of stuff, it says that you lack discipline. It also says that we lack direction for our lives when we want everything. Because everything won't line up with what you're trying to accomplish. You know, it's like, okay, my daughter is a heck of an athlete. She track and gymnastics and all that. And it came a point in her career, because she was very good at both, being recruited for both, everything. It came a point where she had to choose. And I used to tell her all the time, listen, little, you can't have everything. You can't go to every practice. You can't maintain everything. Not if you're going to be excellent. And that was the difference. Not if you're going to be excellent. If you're going to be excellent at these things, you got to choose to focus on a certain thing in order to be great in it. And that takes discipline to be focused. It takes discipline to say, I couldn't look around and I could. And I don't want to talk about, I'm not talking about just being a failure or a success. Do you know pursuing too many good things still says you have no discipline? Because what you need ultimately is the energy and the focus to get it all done. In fact, I think my new book I just put out, y'all, Dear Brother, The Blueprint to Becoming the Man of Your Own Dreams. Go to christianwinters.com and pick that up today. I'll sign it, put a note in it, get it right to you. christianwinters.com. The book is called Dear Brother, The Blueprint to Becoming the Man of Your Own Dreams. Because I'm going to tell y'all right now, even in success, I remember as a pastor, I'm a retired pastor. I've been retired since 2019. But I remember standing up in front of my congregation, successful, building paid off, everything, money in the bank, great congregation, everything straight. Worldwide evangelism, community evangelism. I mean, we was doing it. And I stood up there one day and I looked at the crowd and I was so dissatisfied because there was something greater for me to do. And in my mind, I said, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna keep my churches. I'm gonna focus on trying to podcast and do this and that. Nope. My health was dwindling. Everything falling apart. Right? Going through a divorce. All these things. And I'm still trying to master everything. I had to, you know what I had to do? I had to choose me. And when I chose me, it wasn't about just my will choosing me, but it was about choosing what do you really desire, what kind of man do you want to be, what kind of impact do you want to make on the world, what kind of dad do you want to be. And I finally in that moment chose and said, you know what, let me be disciplined. I'm gonna walk away from something I've been doing all my life. Pastoring, leading. I was teaching at 14 years old. All my life, traveling the world, traveling the country, doing my thing. And I loved it. But something happened with my life was everywhere. I was trying to please everybody. And I needed the discipline of making a choice. And once I made that choice, my life didn't get better right away, but it got clear. See, this is the thing, man. You ever been driving now? We got GPS and all that stuff now, but back in the day, I'm 45, so I remember the days before cell phone maps and all that. In fact, I remember the days before MapQuest when you had to print the directions off the computer and carry them in the car with you, right? But you ever been lost, man, and can't find your way? And once you find the road to get you back, once you find the road, you get frustrated being lost. You get tired of being lost. You get frustrated you can't find the road you need to find. And then when you finally find the road, you might look up and be 45 minutes off the beaten path. But you know what you're happy about? At least I'm going the right direction. At least I'm going the right direction. And that's important for us as men. No matter how far you feel off, bro, at least you're going in the right direction. So the goal isn't to win, because what am I winning? The goal is really, am I going the right direction? Now some of y'all might say, well, how do I know I'm going the right direction? What's the level of peace you feel? What's the level of peace you feel right now in your life? I ain't say what's the level I don't care, I don't give a F. No. I'm talking about what's the level of peace you're feeling in your life. Because lack of peace is a sign that you're not going in the right direction. You know what it says? My soul is not satisfied. And see, that's where you really got to get into this thing, because your mind might be satisfied, your heart might be satisfied, but is your soul satisfied? Your pockets might be satisfied, but is your soul satisfied? Right? You might live in the house you finally live. You might have pursued all the things you wanted to pursue, but is your soul satisfied? Now, what is that? What are you talking about now? The soul, brothers, is made up of three parts: the mind, the will, and the emotions. That's where you got to look for the most satisfaction in your life. That's where you got to find satisfaction. The mind, how I operate in here, the will, what I will allow myself to do, and my emotions. Do I have control of how I feel? So we talked about the two things today. We talked about discipline, and now let's get into not only the discipline we talked about, that's very important, but now let's get into self-awareness, which is first. I taught this whole thing backwards. But let's talk about self-awareness. Because if you don't know you, you can't discipline you. If you don't know you, you can't discipline you. Right? I'm on my way to work right now on a holiday. right? I didn't have to come in today, but it took discipline. I have a funeral Wednesday. I got to travel to do a men's event in Western PA. I didn't want to come in today, but it took discipline. Everything in me wanted to lay there and say, you know what, forget about it. But it took discipline, but it also took self-awareness. The self-awareness to know you got to do this thing. And I knew this morning, I'm tired, right? I knew that I could lay there and figure out an excuse to make this whole thing make sense. I am self-aware enough to know that I can talk myself out of or into anything. And I was self-aware this morning and said, I'm not going to lay here and talk myself out of going to work on this holiday because I need this time. Right? And that's just a light sense of knowing yourself, but that's knowing yourself. I know I'm a man of words, right? It is my gift. It is what I've done all my life. I'm a man of words. I speak to people. I convince people. I help them think through things. I have the power to talk myself in or out of anything. What do you know about yourself that you can be self-aware of so that other people aren't always judging you? See, the more self-aware you become as a man, the less you'll find other people judging you. Why? Because I've already judged myself. How did I judge myself? I'm self-aware. You got to know your flaws. You got to know when you're angry. You got to know when you're too angry. You got to know when you're getting angry. Right? I know for a time in my life, I had, am I lying? Let me make sure I ain't lying. I don't know how much time, but it was a significant time in my life because of all the things I went through as a child preacher and dealing with the death of my parents early and my child and being sick and being betrayed. All the things that happen to us as men, I developed a very, very, very short fuse for foolishness or what I deemed as foolishness. And to be honest, I was so frustrated in life or everything falling apart and I'm trying to hold the pieces together many years of my life that I began, my fuse was short on everything, even stuff it shouldn't have been short on, because I just couldn't take no more. Hit that like button, y'all. Make sure y'all let people know this is a good channel, let men know this is a good channel where we can, as grown men, we can grow more. Hit that like button, y'all. But I realized something, right? My life was all over the place. I was so I wasn't self-aware, so I was just thinking everybody's making me angry. I got to stay away from them. And as a single man, it was like, well, I got to find the perfect girl. So anytime I dated, a woman could do something this small, I'm out. Not dealing with it, right? I couldn't build relationships that way. Too short of a fuse. So my fix can't be, and your fix can't be, to whatever your issue is. Be self-aware today, bro. Think through you. Think through you, because as men, we can think through a lot of things and a lot of people and have an eye on everything else. We got to stop and pause and think through us. Think through our inabilities. Think through what we're capable of doing, but we're not doing, right? I couldn't run from this thing. You can't just keep on switching spaces. You can switch cities. You can switch towns. You can switch universities. You can switch jobs, bro. You can switch women. You are going to be wherever you go. Right? And if you done switch, you done went through divorce, and you done got with this person and then that person, and you done switch jobs, and you done transferred schools, and you done moved up a level and down. When you moved all around trying to find the perfect space and no space seems to fit you, it's not nothing wrong with every space you in. It's something wrong with us as men. And you got to face that part of you. Become self-aware. You got to know yourself. And the way to know yourself is you got to slow down. You got to slow down. Many of us can't know ourselves because we're pacing too fast. Life is going too fast for us to pace ourselves. Right? Life is going too fast for us to know ourselves, rather. Life is going too fast for us to stop and say, you know what? How am I feeling today? First of all, as men, nobody even teaches us to ask those sort of questions. They teach us, make sure you ask about your lady, how was her day? Make sure you ask your kids, how was their day? We don't ask ourselves about, how were you today, bro? Think through it. How did I do today? Was I too short-tempered? Was I too careless? Right? Whatever it was, whatever your thing was I too passive? Was I passive-aggressive? Right? Think through. You got to think through. Don't let the days just go by, because you'll look up and now you 30 years older than you were, and you still dealing with the same stuff. You ever been there, bro? Hit that like button and let me know in the chat if y'all feel this. Tell me you feel this. Yeah, that's me. That's me. Yeah. Let me know. Put it in the chat. Yeah, bro, I understand that. Because I know I'm not by myself out here. It's two things we lack as men in order to have mastery of manhood. Lack of discipline, lack of self-awareness. If you get those two, and this is a life journey, bro, right? It's a life journey, but if you get those two, you start winning right away. You start winning right away. You want your lady to be quiet about everything all the time? I don't know if it's possible to quiet the ladies, bro. but you want her to stop complaining all the time? Become self-aware. Right? What about me doesn't please me? I'm gonna tell you, when you start asking that question and start making yourself your project, what about me don't I enjoy about me? Right? Because most of the time, the things people don't enjoy about you, you already know. You already know. It's not a mystery to you. The same things that people complain about, you know. And guess what? They're only getting part of it. You know the full you. They complaining about the restrained you. They have no idea about the full you. Right? The full part of you that's like angry. They seen part of your anger. They seen part of whatever your issue is. They ain't seen all of it. They seen part of your laziness. They seen part of your fatigue. They ain't seen all of it. They haven't. They ain't seen it all, bro. And so this is the thing. When you become more aware about who you are, your ways, get to know your ways. Because then what happens is you stop trying to fix everything. Yeah, y'all gonna go with me in the office. Come on. Sorry, y'all. You stop trying to fix everything, and then you start preventing stuff. And that's the real goal. When you start preventing, meaning I feel anger coming on. I feel hopelessness coming on. I feel like an addiction is about to come back and get me. When you become self-aware, you are able to check these things before they get on you. So that way you're not always trying to recover, right? You don't have to recover because you didn't take that loss, right? So that's the goal. That's the goal, to know yourself, know your fears. Know your fears, bro. Know them. What are you afraid of? Know your fears. Know your fears. Because some of your fears, you gotta go after them. You got to break those fears. Some of those fears you got to go after. You got to break them with everything in you, right? And in some of those fears, you say, you know what? That fear is good for me. I need to be afraid of that. I need to stay away from that, right? Know yourself in your relationships, right? With your lady. Know when she's starting to irk you. So you don't even have to enter into the argument. You know when to start dialing yourself back. Know you, bro. Discipline and self-awareness. That's how you master manhood. Discipline and self-awareness. Right? Last night, man, I ate so late, man. I woke up one something this morning. All kinds of acid reflux. Now, listen, I already know that number one, I got to get this weight off me. Number two, I already know I'm going to deal with reflux if I eat too late. What did I do? No discipline. Sat there with my lady, ate all late, great food, and I paid for it all night long. Right? See, I'm talking about them big things and little things, right? That's a little thing. But if you can discipline yourself in the little things, then you can discipline yourself in the big things. But you know what else I hear that I need to say to you? When you love you, you start developing better self-discipline. When you love you, you start developing better self-discipline and you start being more aware of yourself. You know, sometimes we are aware of ourselves and we dodge ourselves because you don't like yourself. And sometimes that's not always a bad thing. Not liking yourself is not always a bad thing. Because not liking yourself, sometimes that's the catalyst to change everything. It's the catalyst to change, bro. Hey, man, I'm going to get in here and I'm going to go to work. All right? But I'm glad y'all took this ride with me, bro. I'm glad you jumped in. I'm glad you jumped in the ride. Rode shotgun, took this ride with me, bro. Discipline and self-awareness will help you master manhood. Hey, man, if you got this far, I'm proud of you. I'm glad you did. Go to my website, christianwinters.com. I got a free book on there called Removing the Shame. And I also have my newest book out for men, Dear Brother, The Blueprint to Becoming the Man of Your Own Dreams. Because we've been the dreams of a lot of people, but we haven't been the man of our own dreams. Hey, man, I love you. Make sure that you love you. Stand tall and walk this life out with no fear, no shame, and no compromise. We're going to end this pod like we do all the rest of them. Yesterday is history, and tomorrow's a mystery. All we got is right now. What you going to do with it? What you going to do about it? Hey, man, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Most of all, share this with some men, real men who are grown, but we all looking together to grow more, and we're going to do that together. Hey, man, till next time, stand tall. I'm on your side. Peace.